You'd think that after watching Shameless for so long I'd get used to the things that the Gallaghers do, yet here we are. What's up everybody, my name is Brancy and welcome to my channel. Today I am talking about the Shameless season premiere on Showtime, and it was something alright. This was actually a pretty good premiere. We had a 29-day time jump, which time jumps usually cause disaster, but I think it really worked. There's still a lot of questions. I don't really know what happened with Sean. Don't know where he is or what's going on with that really. Maybe we'll find out more in the coming episodes, but to start off, I'm going to give you a warning that this video is going to contain spoilers. I don't know how else to talk about the show without bringing up spoilers, so if you have not seen the season premiere of Shameless, now is your chance to click off this video. So, jumping right into the season, we pick up with Frank, where, as you know, he was dumped into the, I think it was a river or a lake. I don't know. They dumped him off into some water. He wakes up in the hospital. Apparently he's been in a coma this entire time, and nobody's gone looking for him, which, can I blame them? No. Frank is known to be a bad person. So I'm not really shocked that nobody looked for him, but he shows up at the Gallagher household as per usual when he finds out the hospital bill. I'm not sure how he's going to work his way out of that one, but as usual, nobody's really interested in seeing him, so he gets kind of thrown out, and he's like paralyzed, but he's not paralyzed because I don't really know. I'm kind of confused because he was in a wheelchair, and they say it's because he hasn't used his legs in so long because he was in the coma, so I don't know if that's gonna like get better throughout the season. I don't really know. But he's in a wheelchair, that's all I do know, and he was like dragging himself up through the house, and of course the first thing he does is goes for beer, which Frank, you know, and then Fiona drags him from the second story like down the stairs and throws him out, which is hilarious. So that was great. Frank is just being Frank. Not sure where we're gonna go with his injuries or anything, but that's really kind of all Frank did. He just did some more Frank things, you know, the usual. So next I want to talk a little bit about Debbie. So Debbie is dealing with Franny, and it looks like Franny was about to drop, or Debbie was about to drop Franny off at the fire station, and she realized that that was not going to work because Franny was going to get run the hell over. So she very quickly runs back and grabs her, and Debbie has found herself a side hustle because she is stealing strollers from the park and then selling them on Craigslist. I was convinced that the immediate person interested in the stroller was going to be the correct owner. Maybe that'll come up later, but Debbie's got her little side hustle going on. She was making some dough, and she got her a nanny, which was interesting. Or I'm sorry, a night nurse. A night nurse? Is that what she called it? I don't remember. I only watched it the one time. But Debbie's rolling in the dough right now. So, you go you, I guess. But something I feel like is gonna happen with that. But so Carl has just some mess going on in this episode. Carl's main worry in this episode is that Dominique does not want to give him a blowjob. So he finds out that the reason that this is because he is not circumcised, and he's the only one in the family that is somehow not circumcised. So what does Carl do in his traditional Carl fashion? He goes to the doctor and gets a circumcision. So that was Carl in the season premiere, basically, getting a circumcision, and I don't know why, why that happened, but it did. So that's what Carl had going on this episode. Ian is going through some stuff because he thinks that Caleb is cheating on him, and Caleb assures him that, you know, he's just going to hang out with this girl that he used to know, and he shouldn't worry because it's a girl, right? Which, Ian is not buying it, so he gets Lip to come with him and follow Caleb, and sure enough, there is Caleb macking on a woman. So I don't know where they're going with that. somewhere. I feel like they are grasping at straws with Ian right now because they do not know what kind of storyline to give him. So naturally, let's just give him a cheating storyline, right? Like, I don't really know. It's kind of weird. But talking about Lip, so we see a little bit of Lip in this episode, and he is doing well after rehab. I'm worried, though, because he does go get a drink at the Alibi, and he assures Kev and V that he has this new system and like all these rules, and he has his little alcohol anonymous chips, and like he assures them that he has his problem under control. He seems to have it under control for now, but who knows where that's going to take him throughout the season. I don't know. I don't know if he can keep it under control forever. So I'm not sure where Lip's going to go with that. But hopefully he gets his act together, because I love Lip as a character and I want to see him succeed, and he has so much potential. So hopefully he does get clean, stay sober, and hopefully goes back to college and makes something of himself, because he has too much potential to waste it all. And finally, the last Gallagher that I'm going to talk about is Fiona. I really, really love Fiona in the premiere. You can see that she is definitely stressed in a manager position at the diner, but I really appreciate the fact that she is going men-free, at least she has for the past 29 days, and seems to be keeping up with that promise, because I'm going to be real, I never liked Sean, and I can feel the haters coming for me, but I never liked Sean. And no, and it's not because he was a former addict, but we know now, because Frank found out, that he had been using all along, but I just didn't like him. There was nothing about him that I liked. I feel like there was one episode where he did like one thing that I appreciated, but that's it. I did not like him as a person, so I am glad to see him gone, honestly. I think Fiona needs to be alone and without a man to find herself and get back to the Fiona I loved, because honestly, Fiona was my favorite character from day one, because I feel like I related to her so much, being the older sister and feeling like you had a lot on your plate a lot, so I related to that. I didn't have the same kind of relation when it came to like parental issues. Like, I of course never have had issues like she has had with Frank and Monica. Never ever has ever been that bad, so thank God for that. But I related to Fiona because, you know, she was the older sister. She feels like she has to take care of her brothers and sisters, so like I really loved her, especially in season 1 and throughout the beginning seasons. But then that whole thing happened with the cocaine and Liam and the cheating, and I just I didn't like it. I didn't like where she was going, so I really hope she takes this time to find herself, stay man-free, and get back to the old Fiona. So hopefully that'll happen. And the last characters I'm talking about tonight are Kev, V, and Svetlana. I love Svetlana. At first, I did not know what to think of her because she was such a minor role, and then she kind of developed into the person that you didn't like because she was the reason that Mickey and Ian weren't together. But then she just kind of blossomed and became her own character, and now Svetlana is actually one of my favorite characters. So she gets to show off a little bit of her smarts this episode and reveals that she's actually really good at math, crunching numbers, and she crunches the numbers for Kev and V and herself and all the finances with the Alibi and family finances, and apparently they're not doing so hot, so I'm not sure where that's going to go. I think the relationship between Kev, V, and Svetlana is definitely different, but it is interesting, and I think that it is great representation of other lifestyles, because we've never really at least I've never seen a show that has done a polyamorous relationship so openly and in the way that they're doing it. So I've never seen it like that. Whenever you see it on TV, I feel like it's fetishized, and I think that's the right word, fetishized. Maybe. It sounds right. I don't know. But I think it's really cool that they are touching on polyamory or polygamy. I don't really know the exact words for it, but you guys know what I'm talking about. So I really like that they're doing that, and they are giving it a fair portrayal instead of making it like some kind of fantasy or something like that, or like overly sexual. So I like that they're kind of giving it that tone, so that's cool. Other than that, I think those are the main points of the episode. I thought it was a pretty good premiere, pretty good as far as premieres go, so I'm excited to see where the season goes. I'm excited to see where these characters are going to go, what other crazy things the writers are going to give us, because I love Shameless because it makes me feel like every time I'm overly dramatic about my life, I can be like, well, you know what, the Gallaghers are so messy that like I feel better about myself. So I don't know, the promo for next week looks a little crazy. I'm excited, I'm ready for it. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a good season. I'm glad Shameless is back. But thank you guys for listening to this review. Make sure you give this a thumbs up if you appreciated it, and you can subscribe to my channel if you want to get notified every time I make another video. If you have an idea for something you'd like to see me review, make sure you leave a comment down below. And also in the comments, feel free to let me know what you thought of this week's episode of Shameless. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing this every week. I'm just kind of see how it goes. But dug the premiere, excited for the rest of the season. Thank you guys for listening, and goodbye.